What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We had a wild day today. The stock market opened up and was just crashing down, and then a couple hours later, we actually finished in the green on a lot of different stocks. So we have a huge week ahead of us. We have a lot of important news, so make sure to stick around to the end. We also have some great plays for tomorrow, and don't forget to let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below. If you do, we'll probably check them out in tomorrow's video. But Tom, we saw some crazy movement today. What's going on in the market right now?
Yeah, we did see some crazy movement, and we saw the SPY actually tank off pretty hard this morning, Mike, as Treasury yields started to rise once again. And, it was pretty bad this morning. We saw yields going up. This is the 10-year Treasury index here. And we saw big tech once again going down early in the morning. We saw AMD down. We saw Facebook down. We had pretty much every big stock, NVIDIA down. Tesla was even down. So early on, stocks were selling off at a pretty rapid rate. But I will say the market turned around quite well in the middle of the day. Looks like the SPY came right back up, actually back all the way up above opening price today. And we actually closed pretty close to that closing price of Friday, right around 466. So honestly, it's pretty unmoved today from the SPY, but there was lots of intraday movement, made for some pretty good put plays early on. And then I know some people even banked on some calls later in the day, but yeah, the SPY was all over the place, Mike. And we had a lot of stocks tanking down kind of early in the morning, like I said.
One stock that's really catching my eye is Zoom. And Zoom, it got hit really earlier in the morning, but it just slowly came back throughout the day and it finished in the green. In my opinion, it's trading at an awesome level. And I feel like we're finally starting to get just a little bit of positive momentum. I know it's been really rough over the past couple of weeks, but in my opinion, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I really hope so. We just fell below that key support last week around 175, and I really hope to see it come right back up through there. Honestly, if this is going to be the turnaround for growth, right now might be the start of, or might be a good time for it. We have Powell speaking tomorrow morning. That's going to be a very interesting subject. I actually have the calendar from the Federal Reserve right here. We can see that tomorrow, the 11th, he's going to be testifying at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be very interesting. Obviously, he's just going to be testifying at a hearing on his confirmation to his second 4-year term. But, in the end, he might say something about the markets and about inflation. So we'll have to see what he ends up saying. But it's definitely going to be fun to watch this. And we'll be posting links all over the Discord.
You know it. So I know there's a lot of different information out there when it comes to rising rates and how it will affect the market. And I saw there was some pretty interesting news related to Goldman Sachs today.
Yeah, there really was. Goldman Sachs is a pretty big bank, as we know, and they have been very, I should say, really good in their asset management division. So, for example, they've been making a ton of money pretty much trading the markets lately, and we can see that their EPS has been insane, up to 18, 15, even 14.9 right here. Their asset division has been on fire, and they actually came out and said that they expect 4 rate hikes this year. So we can go ahead and see that they pretty much, Goldman predicts the Fed will have 4 different rate hikes next year. And this is just so important because this is such a big bank, Mike. And previously, they were expecting maybe 1 or 2 rate hikes next year, but now they're coming in with 4 of them. That's crazy to hear. And then to top it all off, they were expecting to see rate hikes maybe in June or maybe even in September, but now they're talking about seeing rate hikes much earlier on, possibly even in March. So yeah, it's definitely not looking good as far as rates go, but in the end, we'll have to see how rates end up affecting the economy. And so far, it seems like it's been kind of dragging the SPY down.
For sure. Generally speaking, rising rates are bad for most companies. Sometimes rising rates help bank stocks and things like that. But generally speaking, rising rates are not good. And then, Tom, I also know we have a couple big earnings this week. Nothing crazy, but what do we have in stock?
Yeah, I have the earnings whispers chart right here. We had those Tilray earnings come out this morning, Mike, and they ended up being pretty good. Tilray had a pretty good day compared to a lot of stocks, especially earlier on. But we have the big ones coming later in the week. Obviously, on Thursday, this is going to be huge. We have Delta Airlines. I think that's going to be very important. And then on Friday, we have JP Morgan Chase Citigroup, Wells Fargo. So just like we talked about with Goldman Sachs being a big bank, a lot of these big banks are going to start reporting again. And I know that if we go look at like JP Morgan, for example, Mike, they've been kind of getting close to these all-time highs. And in Bank of America's case, they've been kind of not making new highs, but at least really, really close up here. So I'm just glad to see them moving like this. And keep in mind, Bank of America is not at highs on the max weekly, but it is over the past few years.
Gotcha. And last but not least, I saw that we also had some news with Pfizer. What's going on there?
Yeah, this was actually some pretty good news today. The Pfizer CEO said that he expects the COVID vaccine to be ready in March. And you can see Pfizer's stock pretty much shot up from that sell-off this morning, and it closed pretty high. And I'll tell you, Pfizer stock has been pretty hot lately. If we end up holding this $55 support, Pfizer might be a good play, at least for the next couple of days. Now, we do have earnings coming up, and in my opinion, Pfizer is a little bit overextended still, but this is some pretty good news.
There we go. So that wraps up the major news. So with that being said, let's get right into the potential momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Square to the upside.
Yeah, Square had an awesome turnaround day today. Go ahead and make them break out above 145.20 tomorrow.
There we go. With the next one, we have Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom, same exact setup almost. Go ahead and make them break out. I would say the high of early this morning, right around 173.40.
Last but not least, we have good old Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir, PLTR, very big turnaround day for them, actually. I would make them go ahead and break out above 1675.
Sounds good. So we're watching Palantir, Zoom, and Square for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But while we're on the topic of Palantir, we definitely have to showcase this bot play from today. So if you trade options, definitely take a look at this. The bot called out the Palantir $15.50 or $15.50 strike calls for this week at $55 each. They ran all the way up to $123 each to end the day, which is a 123.6% pop in a couple hours. So if you trade options, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below for daily option swing trades, day trades, custom bots, and a great community. You can cancel at any time, and we can see today's play went from $55 up to $123 within a couple hours. So like I said, we have a coupon running, and you can cancel at any time. It's the first link in the description and the comments down below. But let's get right into the comments from the previous video. With the first comment, we have Jason saying, thanks guys, watching Hood. So HOOD. I know a lot of people don't like Robinhood, but I will say their stock has been doing pretty decent over the past couple of days. It's kind of starting to hold its ground, and it's not looking terrible for like a dip buy.
Yeah, it's really not actually. And it's kind of forming a double bottom around $15. Doesn't look too bad. I will say, though, it's not my favorite setup in the world, but as far as a stock that's been beaten down, I mean, man, this one since IPO has gotten beaten down quite a bit. So I'm definitely eyeing it up too, Mike. And I'm going to wait for a little bit, I think, of a bounce back up or maybe just sell some puts. But either way, I like it and hopefully get some good momentum this week.
And I see that they have earnings coming up too, and Robinhood makes a lot of their money from payment for order flow. So, whether that's cryptocurrencies or options trading or even stock trading, over the past quarter, there has been a decent amount of volatility, not only with the stock market, but also with the cryptocurrency market. So, you would think that maybe they have a decent earnings report and their stock's kind of low now. So it's not a bad play. And another thing is just a couple months ago, Robinhood was trading at $85 a share. Now it's at $16. So it's not at a bad level, and I'll definitely keep it on my watch list.
Yeah, me too. It's really low. And honestly, if we start to go up from this low of $15 up towards even $40, like the middle of the range here, I mean, that's going to be a crazy move to the upside. So I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yep. Then we have Andrew saying, hey, what are your thoughts on big techs like Amazon and Google? So they're definitely powerhouses. I like them for the long term, but for the short term, I'm not seeing any great opportunity to the upside or the downside.
Yeah, I will say Amazon had a pretty good turnaround day today, just like a lot of stocks, actually. Amazon's kind of setting up like a Zoom, almost like a Palantir. I'm not saying that they're even close to that by any means, but you can see intraday today, they kind of fell off. They came right back. And I don't know how to really think about Amazon. They're like right on this support. Personally, I feel like that they might start to fall off the downside, kind of like what Mike said. But today was kind of crazy to see him come back like that.
True. All right. And then we have Chris saying, what are your thoughts on LULU? LULU. So this one is it's been doing very well over the past couple of months. I would consider it for a dip buy around 300 or so. At this price point, I feel like it still has a little bit more room to fall.
Yeah, me too. I think it might keep going down in the short term. Once again, it had another like turnaround day today. Like it had a bad drop in pre-market, slowly came back, but I could see it also keep going lower, Mike. And looking at it on the daily, there's some pretty big supports down here, right around $300 even. So I might watch for that level over the next couple months.
Same here. So Tom, do you have any last minute plays or setups for tomorrow?
No specific plays or setups right now, but I will say there's some pretty big news still. We have the inflation data coming out on Wednesday. That's going to make I think that's going to make for some pretty big volatility coming into the markets. Like you said, the volatility is already kind of picking up a little bit. We have Powell speaking tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. That's going to be pretty important, I think, and lots of people are going to be watching that. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes, I think, on the VIX and just on the SPY in the overall market tomorrow. As Powell speaks, who knows? He might say something about inflation or about maybe raising rates or something like that. And if he does, then, we might see the market take a bit of a dip and we might see the VIX start to shoot up a little bit. But at the same time, he might be more dovish and, who knows? He might come out and say some good stuff about the market. But either way, I'm going to be watching Powell and those economic numbers coming out on Wednesday. That's going to be a huge factor this week. And I think that the main indices like the SPY, the QQQ, and the Dow are going to be very important to watch.
There we go. So thank you guys so much for watching today. If you trade options, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below. Today's trade went crazy. It went from $55 up to $123. Besides that, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thank you so much for watching.